Good morning, Ashley here on the 1st of February, a daily Stoic recovery podcast. Today's month is all about passions and desires. We're starting with The Hot-Headed Man from the Daily Stoic book by Ryan Holiday. Thank you, Ryan. Keep this thought handy when you feel a fit of rage coming on. It isn't manly to be enraged, rather gentleness and civility are more human and therefore manlier. A real man doesn't give way to anger and discontent, and such a person has strength, courage, and endurance, unlike the angry and complaining. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 11.18.5b. It's all about passions and desires this month, and let's talk about anger. Let's talk about how we react to certain situations impulsively without really paying attention to it, and understanding why we do that. And when you feel like you're under threat, when you feel like you're in danger, when you feel as though something's bad's going to happen, the fight or flight response comes in. The ego takes a wheel, because the ego doesn't trust the soul to get out of a really dangerous situation. And for example, when you're in an argument, a petty argument, or you might not feel it's petty, you may feel you're in an argument with someone and then it escalates. I'm sure you have been in an argument and you see how it escalates. One person argues with someone and then the other one person shouts louder, and it just becomes a battle of the egos without really being true, without being true strength. Because as Marcus Aurelius points out, the true strength is in the calm mind. And I think when we're in that situation of an argument with someone and not liking what someone's saying to you, someone might be calling you a name, someone might be saying that you disagree with, or you might be under threat physically, and you might be abused, verbally abused. You might be getting messages through social media. You might be getting abuse from phone calls, from your co-workers. You might feel like you're being bullied by someone, and what we tend to do is we feel as though fighting fire, feel as though we're under threat from fire, we fight back with fire, rather than understanding actually fighting back with fire, it actually just makes it blaze even like a furnace. It spreads, fire spreads smoke, and that's an analogy I sort of use. What is actually happening when you fight fire with fire? And yeah, it's being aware of that, as Marcus says, because you will feel, it's a human nature to feel an impulse when someone calls you a name, or someone abuses you, or someone says that something that you don't like. It's perfectly human nature to have the impulse, and the Stoics don't. We're not saying here that impulses are good or bad. It's just part of our safety mechanism. But it's our job to understand that and be objective about it and be calm, as Marcus Aurelius says. And like in the past, when I've been in an argument, it happened yesterday when I was in a conversation with someone, and I felt as I was consuming something I didn't agree with and I wasn't connected with, and to try and get out of that situation, I sort of jumped back. I sort of argued back with them, but then I thought, and I could feel my voice change, I could feel my body change, I could feel my shoulders, and I feel as though the blood going into my shoulders and your head. And I could feel the fight when you go through your self-awareness journey. You can feel your body change into this fight or flight or freeze sort of embodiment. But then I realised that I was aware of it. Okay, this is happening, and sort of being okay, I'm really under threat here. And then within a few seconds, I sort of meditated. When this person was talking, I took some deep breaths, understood, right, I'm under threat here, or can I choose to be calm, collective? And soon enough, my body changed back to homeostasis, back to balance, and I could make a more informed judgment about what actions to take in that situation. And yeah, in the book they mentions in boxing how boxers have a trash talk before a fight, and we know that the agenda is with the boxers is to rile the person, is to get under the other person's skin, in an attempt to get under the person's skin. But it's our choice if we allow that to happen. He mentioned a boxer, can't remember his name, who was known as like emotionless, when he was being attacked by other boxers, trash talked, and yeah, it's being that place of being in control of your emotions. The best, be a man, be manlier, and understand that strength isn't in fighting back in anger. It might be fighting back from a calm place. I'm not saying that if you're under physical threat, I'm not saying don't fight back, but be objective. You can calmly fight back, and yeah, instead of being defensive, but it's being objective in the situation. It's understand, when you can make, when you're in a calm, measured state, you can understand, right, what is the best move, what is the best move here, and yeah, being in control of the emotions, because there isn't that many, you're not going to have that many situations in your life where you do need to be in that fight or flight response mode.
Morning.
Morning.
You okay?
Yeah, here's my cleaner. I'm doing a video.
Okay.
So yeah, it's using that sort of strength we've got, that fight or flight response, to our effect, and understanding why it's there, and understand it's not there to be used when there's no actual danger, there's no actual threat. And yeah, that's going to be the theme this month, about controlling the desires. And yeah, the hot-headed man. You know, I've been hot-headed. You know, I've acted irrationally, and that's what it does when you're hot-headed. You act rationale goes away. You're not connected to your rationale, and just keep it handy. You know, as Marcus says, keep the thought handy. And the more you practice it, the more you practice it being there, it'll just be there, concrete in your mind. When you're getting that stressful, when you feel that stress, you know, is this co-worker saying some bad things about me actually a threat? Is the fact I might be under threat from a disease in the future, is it actually a threat? Is it worth using my fight or flight response? And it isn't manly. It's actually cowardice to sort of get angry, because what you're doing, it's just egos battling against each other. And I know it might feel satisfying in the short term to argue back and to defend yourself and shout above the other person, but being aware that by doing that, you're just feeding the ego. You're satisfying the ego, and you're just keeping it alive by being in that place. And that's why it might feel satisfying to your body. So it's your ego you're satisfying. It's not your soul. It's not your calm mind. And it's no indifference. And it's using your ego to effect, and not letting it rule you. You're in charge of your ego. You're in control. You're in control of the emotions. Your ego is not in control of your emotions. If you let your ego, it will be in control of your emotions. If you feed it, and if you act from that place of stress, and when there's no actual danger, then yes, your ego is going to think, okay, when I'm in this same situation, I'm gonna take the wheel again. When you feel like you're gonna be broke, or when you feel like you're gonna lose some money, or when someone says something bad about you, or because you've acted in threat last time, I'm gonna come up again, and it's the same cycle. But the more you sort of know your ego, when it sort of comes up and it wants to take the wheel, it's like breathing. I breathe into the nose, out through the mouth. You can take 2 minutes away. You know, if you're in that situation, take a breath. If you feel that rage about something that's happened, if it's safe to do so, to walk away. Come back, kindly excuse yourself. You know, when you're driving to work, you might be in a traffic jam and someone might cut you off, and you feel that rage, and yeah, you might shout something, and then it might carry on all throughout the day. But yeah, it's nothing wrong with, you know, having a quick release and then back to it's gone, rather than letting it control you for hours and hours. Because if someone cuts you off and you carry on, you complain about it. Someone might cut you off on the way to work, and you might go into the office and you might complain about it to your co-workers. Oh, this such and such person cut you off, and they're sort of, oh, isn't that terrible? And then all of a sudden it comes into a big thing of you being cut off on somewhere, but rather than release it, few seconds, release it back, take the wheel back and let it go. Just let it go. And because the ego will want you to keep it. The ego wants to keep it alive, and that you do that by complaining, by carrying on the story. You do that by, if you're scared of someone, something, by you might carry on by ringing other people, might post about social media, you might complain about social media, or you might go somewhere and gossip about someone, and this person said that, this person said that, and then I'm in such a mood, and then it carries on, and all this time you don't realise that you're actually reaffirming it. You're reaffirming this rage, and it's not manly. It's more manlier to be calm, spirited, content, and once you get in this space, you will become invincible. It's a route to invincibility, because no matter what happens externally, you will be able to be rational in that situation and make a decision, a clear-headed decision about that, rather than fear. Because making decisions, reacting from fear, is never going to be sustainable. It might feel satisfying, as I said, in the impulse at the first, to defend yourself, and you might feel, oh, it's gone, but it'll just keep coming back the next time it happens, and you'll reaffirm that emotion, that reaffirmation of shame, guilt, embarrassment, lack, anger, resent. You will get addicted to it. You'll get addicted to that emotion unconsciously. So it's loving it. It's loving that embody it. Love it. Love that you're sort of resentful about that person. Love it that you're angry about that person. Give it attention. And and just knowing what physiologically is happening, I think, helps. When we get angry about unthreatful, undangerous situations that could happen in the future, or what happened in the past, it's knowing what happened physiologically and biologically helps me sort of like be calm, and understanding like what's happening to our cells and what's happening inside our bodies when we get stressed, in terms of disease, our mental state, and how disabling it is. So it's a win-win. Be calm. Don't give away your anger or discontent. Inner strength. Strength is in your calmness of the mind. And hang around with these people. Be around people who have got calm minds. Follow them. Watch them. Share with them. So enjoyed talking to you today. Thanks for watching. And I'll send you off into the day. Upload this now. Love you.